Hey everybody, happy New Year's Eve. We're gonna do a little quick short nail tutorial here. I'm just gonna remove my previous gel polish, so I'm gonna set it on 3000 and just kind of show you how I go on a low speed and go around and remove my gel polish without touching my nail, without doing any kind of damage. This is probably the fastest way I have found and the safest way that I have found to remove gel polish, even better than using acetone. I'm just using my lightest arbor band to go around. I take my time, I go slowly. I'm just focusing on where that gel polish is. After I finish removing the gel polish, I will go ahead and go around my cuticle area just to make sure I remove any of that cuticle left on there. But I'll show you, it may be a little bit longer of a process just because of this process right here that I'm showing you. But I felt like for beginners or people who are doing their own nails, this would be an important bit to leave in. So I'm one of those rare people that when I use acetone to remove my gel polish, and you know how you have to let it kind of soak and sit on there for at least 10 minutes before it really starts working where you can peel away that gel polish. I actually have a negative reaction to the acetone. So for me, this is a much better process. And like I said, it's just safer all the way around. It's better than having that acetone sit on your finger, as long as you're being careful and just removing that gel and not touching your actual nail bed. This is going to save the integrity of your nail bed. Take your time, you're not going anywhere, right? It just takes, I think, 10 minutes total maybe. If even that, I'm really being very generous. This is definitely the part of doing nails that I hate the most, but it's really not that bad. Like I said, it's fast. For those of you who are just getting into doing gel nails, this is definitely the way to go as far as removing it. You can pick up a really simple e-file from Amazon for like $15, $20, and they work wonderfully. I suppose it's easy to be intimidated by it, and if you've done any kind of damage on your nail, like if you were in nail school and did damage, or when you first started doing nails, sometimes we can get carried away with the e-file and start filing away at our natural nail bed, which is a no-no. But don't be intimidated by it. You're not going to burn yourself on this speed and going slow and really paying attention to what you're doing. You're not going to do any kind of damage to your nail. Right here, you'll just kind of catch me going around that cuticle area, just making sure I remove any of that cuticle that is attached on there on my nail. Certainly when you're going around your cuticle, you are touching your nail. You're no longer on gel, of course. So you're going to want to be really light-handed. Just be careful, like I said. You're not going to take off too much of that nail when you're going around at such a low speed and lightweight. Yeah, you're going to be just fine. I'm still suffering from a little bit of a cold, so if you hear me sniffling every now and then, just pay it no mind. I'm all right. I'm just kind of trying to get through this change of weather that we have here in North Texas. Now, certainly if you know what you're doing already, then you can just kind of fast forward through this part. I'm just going to go ahead and show this process for those who are new at it. And also, you know, you don't have to go this slow if you are familiar with the e-file and you know what you're doing. I'm just going this slow just as a teaching process. Now, the maximum speed that I feel comfortable going on myself is 6,000 RPMs. So just double the speed of what it is now. I feel really comfortable with that. Right now, I probably would not go any higher just on myself. And I don't go higher on my clients either. Nobody who sits in my nail chair over here complains about me using the e-file to remove their gel. They've kind of had it both ways. Usually we have sat and done the acetone in the beginning, and then they've seen, you know, when I have found out for myself that this is the better method to use, then I would use it on them. I think in the beginning they were kind of like a little iffy, like, is she going to hurt my nails? You know, I would rather just soak it off and take that time and do that. But then once they saw that we can do it and we can save the integrity of the nail just by paying attention and going slower, then everybody was perfectly fine with it, and I have no complaints from any about having to sit through this process. For me personally, this was one of the biggest issues I had in going to like a quick nail shop, was that I never could find a nail tech who would take their time to remove my previous product and really still take care of my nails. Everybody just wanted to get it off quickly, like the faster the better. And no matter what I said or tried to say or do, they were still all about the time and wanting to get me in and out so that, you know, they could get the next person in the chair, which that's perfectly understandable. And there's a need for speed. And then there's also people like myself who would rather have somebody take their time and be a little bit more mindful of the health of my actual nails. I'm just using a little bit of alcohol to clean off my nail beds, and it'll help kind of dehydrate things. If you have swipe from Young Nails, that's usually what I prefer to use. But for this video, we're just going to use alcohol. And then I'm just going to kind of go around with a little bit of primer to prime my nails. I'm just going to use regular primer in this video, but if you have Young Nails Protein Bond, that's really what I use, and that is what I recommend. My nails are already super short. I like them to be short. That's usually what I prefer. I love to wear long nails sometimes, but I work best with the shorties. So I'm just going to kind of refresh the shape on here, get it a little smoother. We'll do a final shaping in the very end after we polish and everything. But that's what I'm going to do real quick right here. I prefer my nails to be just a very, very natural shape. And I know on my middle finger and on my ring finger, they like to go a little bit more straight across is how they like to grow. So I just kind of have to go in just a little bit more on these fingers. Now, normally you're not going to typically saw with your file, but I'm going really light-handed. I'm using just the lowest grade that I have of a buffer or of a file, and you're seeing me just kind of get up in those corners just a little bit, just to make it a little bit more naturally round shape. Now we're just going to prepare these nails by going around with our primer. If my voice is starting to sound a little echoey, it's not your ears. I just happened to be in the sauna room. I figured I would just do a little voiceover while I sit in here and just kind of soak myself. I'm gonna try to kind of keep my voice a little bit lower because I'm in the sauna room. But right now, we're just gonna apply some base coat. Very, very important. It's also gonna help protect your nails whenever you go to remove this gel polish again, because you're just gonna be filing away that previous nail art until you get down to the clear. So you'll always have this protective layer. Plus, of course, it's fabulous for adhesion. Now, personally, I mainly use Madam Glam gel polish, and I have never had a problem with it peeling. That's just my experience with it. There are a couple of other brands that I use because they have a color that I really like, but I will say I do notice some peeling and chipping on those. I know it's very odd. Not sure why. Probably just because I'm a little hard on them. I spend a lot of my week like cleaning, and my hands are in, detergents and cleaners and acetone, of course. So that's it probably just kind of breaks down with the use of things. I just have really, really good luck with Madam Glam on my nails. But I also have good luck with using it on my clients as well. I can't say that Peeling and chipping is something that I see, within like 3 weeks that everybody's fine. Now, those that I have that will try to kind of push that limit and go further beyond the 3 weeks, they may have a nail or two that like barely starts to kind of chip away a little bit with the color. All of my nail clients are avid gardeners, so they are working hard with their hands. They're in the garden, they are digging up weeds, they are planting things. They're not really trying to pay attention to not messing up their manicure. And so far, so good. I haven't had anybody having problems with retention. I've had a couple breaks, maybe like on the second and third week that they're wearing their nails, and it's not really a big break where they're doing damage to their nail. It's more like they just have a little tip part that has gotten a little cracked from doing something. But like I said, we're all hardworking women and men, and we're into things, we're doing things. We don't have time for worrying about perfect nails. But it's nice to know that we can have them. When it comes to pretty nails, you can have your cake and eat it too. But most of these clients, we are doing like the bi-oblique or a gel overlay. So it's not a really thick layer of gel or acrylic. It's just really nice and thin and natural. That's probably the bulk of my clients right now. I would love, love, love to have more clients, and we're going to talk about ways that we can increase the clientele. We're going to talk about that coming up this week for the new year. We're going to have a really nice nail vlog where we sit down, we get truthful, we get honest, and we talk about what it's like where I am on my journey being an at-home nail tech. About a year into it now, and really working hard to get clientele in the door. I'm going to talk to you about how that's going. I'm going to talk to you about ways in which I've advertised that either work or don't seem to work. Kind of my experiences so far and what I've tried and what is left to try, how to stay motivated. We're going to tackle all of these issues and so much more. We're going to get real honest about it. So if you have come for the nail vlog, we're not going to have it today because I want you guys to have a really good New Year's Eve and a happy first. And then we're going to get down and dirty and get into the real nitty-gritty of things. So I am never not going to be honest with you guys. And I'll tell you, it has been a really difficult journey. And I've kind of expressed that along the way in the vlogs that we've had. But I feel like lately, and when I say lately, probably the last couple months, it's just been a lot easier to come on and do my nails and record and not think about the hard part of the job and not think about, the things that the hurdles I'm trying to get over. Even though, in the Facebook groups that I belong to and such, I read there's so many other people going through the exact same thing that I am. Maybe a little bit different circumstances, but still very, very similar issues. I'm going to get back to the nails that we're doing so far. I have been using the Perfect Black by Madam Glam, but we're about ready to use Dreaming of Iceland and just kind of change things up. Dreaming of Iceland is kind of a milky color. It's really, really pretty. I think you're going to love it, especially with the black. I feel like it really pops. So it's not like a bold, solid white. It's just a nice milky shade. And then stepping back for a minute into our upcoming vlog and things that we're going to talk about, it's mainly going to be about the nail business and all aspects of that. But then it's also going to be about being a new nail tech and some of the issues that we run into. I want to be sure and tell you guys all about them, how I handled them, how if I should have handled them differently or a little bit better, then I will certainly tell you that as well. Problems that I am currently kind of facing that I'm struggling with coming up with the best solution to tackle the matter, and I would love you guys' input, so be ready for that vlog. I really would love your input, your advice, and any kind of scenarios and stories that you may have. I want you to be able to share those in the comments. And although we're going to be talking about the nail business, it's not limited to your experience in the nail business world, right? Because we've all had jobs, we've all lived lives or are living lives, and we have experienced very similar issues. And so I want everybody to feel like this is a safe space to voice your story. So when I started out this video, I wasn't really sure exactly how many coats of the milky white that I would have to use to kind of get to the color that I was looking for. I just really want to make sure that it is milky white through and through. So I ended up applying 3 coats. You're going to see me do that. My nails are super short, so it's going to go really fast. And this is one of my hands that I am doing for my New Year's nails. And it's not too wild. Really, you can get away with this look either at the office, just on your weekend, your vacation. It's just a really pretty look, and it's very contemporary. I really, really like it. It's pretty, and I hope you enjoy it as well. I'm going to do kind of a different design on my other hand, but keeping it kind of matching. I really scoured the internet over the last week to look for different ideas to motivate me for my New Year's nails. And I kept coming across black, dark navy, the milky white, and gold and silver with occasional red. So those were kind of the main things that I kept seeing over and over. And I felt like this would be a really good way to kind of stick with the trends I was seeing, but do something different. And especially with it being short nails, it's kind of something that if you have long nails, it's going to look beautiful on those as well. You're just going to, of course, extend that design, maybe do it up a little bit different, add your own twist. But they look great on the short nails as well. If done properly, short nails can be stunning, clean, and beautiful. But it's real easy to not do them correctly. And then in that case, short nails just look short and kind of stubby and not so nice and clean. But I feel like this design kind of goes beyond all that, and it is just giving you elegance and art all at the same time. Best of all, we're still keeping it simple, easy, beginner friendly. And when I'm polishing my short nails, I always like to be sure to go around that rim and just make sure that I've got my tip covered nicely. We're just going to nuke everything in our lamp for 30 seconds for one final time. And then we're going to get into a little bit more of the nail art portion, which will go really fast. All you're going to need is your little bitty brush with your thin short liner, I should say. I'm going to grab a little bit of the black, and we're just going to make some not so perfect lines on our nails. We're going to want our lines to be non-symmetrical and a little thicker in other areas, a little thinner in other areas. And the main thing that I want to do is just keep each individual nail balanced between the black and the white. And that's really the only thing I'm kind of paying attention to as far as where I'm placing my lines. So, you know, if I just balance it out, I still want that milky white to show through. So when I'm adding my black, I don't want to take away from that white. Does that make sense? I don't want to overwhelm any of my nails with too much of the black because it could become a little distracting and not so pretty. Sorry for the Yorkie growling in the background. The kitty is sitting a little bit too close to him, so he's getting a little territorial. I think he's going to calm down though now. He seems to be settling. And this is a good example. So I started to add another little bit here towards the back. Once I got it on, I felt like it was no longer balanced. It had a little bit too much black. So I just kind of wiped it off with a little bit of the paper towel. Our last part of the nail art is going to be to take some of our gold foil, and we're just going to apply a little bit on each nail, and just until I feel like, yeah, that one's had enough, So just use the theory of the balance and take a look at what you're doing. Ask yourself at each time after you lay down something, should I stop here, or do I feel like it needs another piece? So sometimes that can be a little dangerous too, but I trust that you'll be fine with this process. If I can do it, I know you can do it, and you can probably do it 10 times better. When I start to have trouble picking up the little gold foil pieces, I'll just dip the tip of my brush, the end of it, into the tiniest bit of alcohol, just so I can pick up a little piece and carry on. As I move through these, I'm just going to make sure everything is tacked down really nicely, so that way after I finish laying my foil, I can just put my top coat on and we are all good to go. So who out there has New Year's Eve plans, New Year's Day plans? I'm not doing anything New Year's night, so tonight we are just going to stay at home. We'll probably find a movie to watch on Netflix, or find some true crime to listen to on either a podcast or YouTube. That's probably how we're going to spend our evening. Tomorrow we head out to Sherman, Texas to spend the day with family. And I kind of feel like after we get done spending time with family, which should be like a couple hours, if they are still doing the search for the little missing girl who was in an accident on Christmas Eve. She's a little 8-year-old girl from Oklahoma who is still missing last I heard. But I figured if they are still missing her, and if they are doing more of a public search, we'll see if we can't help out in any way. So hopefully we can be of use. I really hope that they have already found her, because that would just make my New Year's Day, just to know that she is no longer missing and that her family has a little bit of closure. I know that they are expecting her this to be just more of a recovery. At this point, she was involved in a car accident and got swept away in a creek, and they have yet to find her. So we'll see, and I will keep you posted on that story as well, since it's local. Unfortunately, that day on Christmas Eve when she went missing and her family was in the accident, we were also in Sherman at that time. And when we were leaving Sherman and getting on the highway, we saw people looking and searching for something. We didn't know what, because the ambulances and policemen and fire trucks did not have their lights on. We just saw people out and about along the highway. And then it wasn't until we got home later that we found out that there was a family who went off the freeway. They hydroplaned and went off, unfortunately. Dad passed away. I believe that they found him the next day. The rest of the family, I think there were 6 members total, the rest of the family did go to the hospital. They have since gotten out and made it home. They are still missing their younger sister, the 8-year-old. So that's kind of where we are on that story. And like I said, I'll keep you posted on that for those who might be interested. Nail-wise, I'm just wrapping it up. We're going to do 1 layer of a top coat. That should be plenty for this set of nails. And then we'll apply some oil, and that's it. So you guys will have to leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think of this set. Also, if you're catching this on New Year's Eve, you can head over to Instagram. My account is under the same name. I'm going to have a couple other inspo pics for my other hand, and I want you guys to help me decide what design I should do on the other hand. I'll probably put those pictures under my story. That way it'll just last for 24 hours. And I'll be doing that set of nails late tonight when I can't sleep. So in the middle of the night, I'll be doing my other hand. I always love to see what designs you guys pick, because it's not always the one that I think that you guys might pick or that I might pick. So that's always, it's nice to see what you guys were thinking and get your opinion on things. And then it also kind of challenges me to maybe do something that I wasn't expecting on doing. If there's any kind of nail art out there that you guys want to see me do, feel free to send me something in my email or message me on any of the socials. I would say keep it beginner nail friendly. However, I love challenges, especially if it's something that you can't figure out how they did. I will definitely dive into it and see what I can come up with, try to figure out a beginner friendly way to get there. So I am about done with this set. I want to go ahead and wish you guys a happy New Year's, a happy New Year's Eve. If you're going to do anything fun, or even if you're just going to lounge around the house like me, I get it. But I'll go ahead and post a picture in here as well so you can kind of see things up close. And I hope you enjoyed this little video. Remember to come back, check back this week, because we'll have a couple other videos coming, plus a nail vlog. And I'm just going to go around one final time, just make sure things are smooth. And if there's anything that needs to be shaped up a little bit better, I'll do that during this little process here. We're going to put on our nice cuticle oil and take a photo. This happens to be my favorite part of the manicure experience. And I like to really work that oil in. I get it all along the sides, definitely on the skin, towards the back where my cuticle is, and around the front of my finger, especially right now when it's cold outside and your skin is getting a little bit drier. It just feels so good. Plus, I love the hand massage. Everybody loves the massage, right? Maybe not as much when you're having to do it yourself, but here they are. Let me know what you guys think. Did I go too far? Should I have not gone this wild? Is it too wild? Is it not wild enough? Let me know what you think down in the comments, and I'll see you soon.